Hello everybody. Well, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. And got a couple new saws here that I really wanted to share with everybody. I'm going to do a Will It Run live with this guy. This is a C91. It's an 84cc chainsaw with the most aggressive breaker cut I've ever seen. So we're going to test and see if that cuts. Wrap handle, I love this saw already. It's Christmas colors, makes me feel happy. So we got the 261, and I'm going to start the 261 off because it usually always starts. And after using so many other saws and the more hours I get on other chainsaws, I start to respect the good ones like this, the small ones that rip pretty hard, that are light and easy to use. This is a very usable saw. It's great for limbing. It's great for a lot of things, and this is better than any of the firewood saws that I started out with, that's for sure. And it's kind of nice to own one of these right now. This one's non-Emtronic, and if you don't know what Emtronic is, which I'm sure all you guys do for sure, that's a computer system that kind of monitors the tuning, and then this one is a manual tuning, old school style. So these are really nice, but I mean, to be honest, if you're going to have one of these that's a workhorse that you're going to take to work every day and run it and replace it in years, you know, I'd go with the Emtronic. I'm not scared of it. I've had a lot of Emtronic saws and I really liked them. They deal with they adjust in the cut and everything, and so if you're worried about burning a saw, get an Emtronic. And get a pro saw if you have the money. Get a pro saw. Anyway, let's just fire it up real quick. We'll make a cut. We'll talk about some other stuff that came in the shop, and I actually had one of the best chainsaw experiences I've ever had recently. And we'll get into a little bit of that because there's a lot of exciting things happening right now. I hope you guys aren't getting too nailed by the wind. You can't tell, but up on the hill here, the trees are just taking a beating. So I'm sore and I'm tired, so we're going to go ahead and use the decomp valve. You know, one of the things nice about the Emtronic saws is that it's in the off position. So this one, I often turn it to the off position, and then I watch everybody else who gets to work and assume it's going to be a Emtronic, you know, pull it quite a few times and realize, oh yeah, this one has an on switch. So kind of old school style. This is a 24 model. It's not very old, but it's been getting a lot of use lately, so should start right up in theory. This is Seesaws Live, so really, to be honest, who knows? And that's pretty good so far. This one is a lot harder. I don't want to say harder, but it takes more pulls than the Emtronic. talk a little bit about some of the new stuff we got here. So right here is a C91. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. I'll try to get these rakers on there. See if you can look at those raker gauges. They are almost completely off. This saw is supposed to run. I got it from a guy that I definitely believe. I believe him when he says it, so I didn't even try to start it. Never once started that chainsaw, but the one that got me really excited that I just got is this super easy automatic. And you know, those are you know, there's always kind of fun because they rip pretty hard. This one's a Western style. It has a full wrap handle. Super excited about this. I didn't even know, and it runs good so far. It's got this little like spacer here on the exhaust to, I guess, like to flex sparks and keep the exhaust going this direction. And if you look here, the fins or the louvers are pointing that way. And I guess the idea is that this being kind of a Western saw used in California a lot, is that the sparks would shoot forward where you could visually see them versus behind you where you could just have crazy forest fires. So far this saw is just something special. I really like it. I mean, this right here is an MS261. It's a 50cc chainsaw, very high performance. This right here is probably 35 cc's or 38 or about 40 actually. And it holds its own with anything modern so far as like non-professional chainsaws for sure. We'll fire it up and see. I don't exactly know where the chain is at. I did make a little cut with it and it seemed pretty good. Also it looks to be like a 20-inch bar on that little thing, so we'll fire it up, make a couple cuts, then we'll get to this C91. But also I had a really good experience because I became a Husqvarna fan just recently, and I've kind of always been a Husqvarna fan. I just haven't had much experience with them, or a great experience with the ones I've had. And I got the opportunity to run some of my favorite all-time great chainsaws, and not only just fire them up, but run them in big wood. So there's a video coming out tomorrow of a lot more detail, and it's just showing off one of the nicest collections I've ever seen. So let's fire this guy up real quick and put it in the wood and see where she's at. Oh yeah, she wants to go. This is my first time running this chainsaw. So far, I'm super happy with it. Fire it back up. We're gonna make some cuts with this one. This Western style, I haven't seen any of these come my way. I didn't know this was what I was going to pick up when I got it. So when I got there, I was so excited. And for a 40cc chainsaw, and all the small ones, this is the one that I really like. Let me fire it back up. You know, one thing I don't like is that the decompression is linked into the throttle lock. So every time you use the throttle lock, you're also using the decompression valve. And let's just fire it up real quick, get it warmed up. You know, I should probably check for fuel. And that's pretty dry, actually. I don't know, I think it's nice that I also gifted this can here, the gasser. Seems almost inappropriate of a name, but a really nice tank so far. It's the first time I've ever used it, and I can't wait to fire this thing up. These little super easies, I know you guys have had them out there. Oh, they rip, man. That thing comes up fast. That is for sure. That's like a, you know, not OSHA approved probably as far as gas cans. So let's see if she'll fire back up. This is seesaws, so I got multiple saws out to, you know, hopefully keep the ratio of running to non-running chainsaws up high. See what happens. No choke, no nothing. Not bad so far. I haven't messed with this saw at all. I'm just going to touch the idle hair. Then we'll put it in the wood there and we'll see if we can tune it a little bit better. I have no idea where it's at other than I ran it a little bit where I picked it up and seemed maybe a little bit lean. So far, I absolutely love it. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. You think it's even a thing having that West Coast style handle on there? I mean, I love it. Is that just because of where I'm at? I mean, if you guys are on the East Coast, do you see that style? I actually really like it. I'm going to take this one out and run it on some big stuff. Chain actually feels pretty good. One I'm really curious about though, and I have a lot of stuff coming here. Man, I just had the most amazing opportunity to run a vintage collection that was, I don't know, at least 20 saws deep, and all runners. And I mean, we're talking good ones like Husqvarna 2100. You might have seen the Homelite that I just posted recently. It was a XP 1020, Super XP 1020 Homelite. That thing is like brand new. It ripped so hard and ran so well. I mean, it really was an eye-opener. Husqvarna 2100, I mean, that's on my list. I have to get one now. I mean, I left here at the Oregon coast, and I didn't go very, well, I guess I went pretty far, a few hours away. And when I came back, I was triple the Husqvarna fan. I mean, now I'm craving one. I have to get one now. It's just like Buck and Billy Ray said, you know, if you get an opportunity to run some of these old chainsaws, take it, because you know, you might not get that opportunity. And honestly, be careful, just exactly like he said, because now I have the itch for a 2100. I feel like I can't sleep without one, so I will find one. Well, you know, I actually had someone reach out to me that I'm going to go check out their collection. I'm really excited about that as well, and there may be some opportunities there, but mostly, so I just went up and checked out this guy named Logan's collection. And the thing that surprised me the most is the way you meet these people. I mean, he's a firefighter, he's a logger, he's a father. He's actually a really good, no-nonsense man, like the kind of people you want to like associate yourself with. So kind of an honor to call him a friend. I consider him a good friend already. I'd do anything for that guy already. Picked up a couple saws from him, and that really wasn't even the primary. We got to do it old school style, like people used to do, you know, before things got too crazy, is we went out and just ran some chainsaws for fun. That's it. That's all we did. It was like an old school kind of concept to get together with your friends in person. And that is the whole goal of all of this, is to make a little community, make something nice. And well, the community's already there. It's already there, and the people are already doing it. I'm just glad to be part of it. And I just want to do my part as well, because I had a lot of fun. And I have a great video coming out tomorrow. I'm super excited to share with you guys. It's a little more about, you know, the people and what's going on. And there's a lot of cutting of some of my all-time favorite chainsaws. Anyway, let's get back to running these real quick. Every time I try to start this chainsaw, it does not start for me on live. It does start outside of that. So I'm going to try to start it right now, and if it doesn't work again, we're just going to throw a plug in there and see if that's the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and put the throttle lock on. I'm going to hit the choke. No primer. It's got to have fuel in it, because every time I try to run it, I'm sure I check. Oh, look at that. Whoa. There's less fuel than I thought. But it looks like the filter's covered, so I mean, it should. See if this guy's going to start here real quick. Kind of part of the will it run. The C91 though, I'm really excited. I'm kind of curious if that chain's going to cut. I kind of hope it does, because I don't want to go get a 404 chain. And mention, so this has all the factory exhaust. I've not modified it or anything. It's actually pretty quiet. It purrs along pretty good. I'm sure it's a late model. Somebody could probably tell me the year. The number is 4D25817. Sorry, 57. I'm sure somebody knows the year of that one with the second. I believe it's the D. That's the one that tells you the year. It sounds like a Ford Escort with no exhaust. That's not, I'm not like ripping on it, but not even so much a Ford Escort as a Ford Tempo. Do you guys remember those? I don't see them on the road here because we live in a rusty area, and so they're kind of all gone. So definitely has like Ford Tempo sound when you pull the exhaust. You know, I remember one day driving up, we had a lot of mountain roads where we're at, and I was a young teenager. I'm driving with my mom, and we always had the worst cars, and we had a car. It was like an 1988 Ford Tempo, which was actually our nicest car at the time. It was like 10 or 15 years old or something. It was like impressively new for us. And we're headed up this hill, and the car would just barely go up the hill. I mean, maybe 45, you know, best. And this is like a regular mountain pass. And she kind of puts her foot down, and all of a sudden, I hear what is like a monster truck or something about to pass us. And well, no, it turns out her entire exhaust system just fell off from the header down. Right off, not only that, off, clean off and gone out the back of the car. That was, I learned how to put exhaust on a car. I actually did that for my mom. It was something I had done really when I was young. You know, we bought a little kit for it, cost a couple $100. But from there on, that car sounded like an airplane, but at idle, apparently sounds exactly like a Homelite. We're gonna run this one in the wood real quick. Can you see that? Those rakers are definitely taken down, but they're kind of weird. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I did this. I don't even know. I don't think I did, if I'm honest. And this bar seems to be like in perfect condition until you get right here. And you notice there's like a huge chunk out of it. And I don't know what's going on, if that's just like how that's happening. Oh, I also am pouring fuel on myself, so that's also good too. You know, seesaw style. I'm fired up, trying to make a cut. We're gonna get to this C91, but I also got some other stuff to talk about. I'm really excited, so let's see if there's even any chain on here. It finally ran on live also. It actually sounds pretty good. I paid $30 for this chainsaw. It came with the paperwork, it came with the case. I got it from a nice guy. There wasn't a lot of a story that came with this one, other than it had been sitting for quite some time. Has one of those like old school 1990s, 1980s price tag stickers that used to be on everything. You guys might not remember that unless you're old enough. Kind of sounds pretty good though, to be honest. I'm gonna start it up, fire it up, and see if it's gonna idle for a second. I'm also gonna grab something else here, because I actually got quite a few saws I want to talk about today. I'm so motivated after going to Logan's collection, and not only motivated, but it's like I said, I'm a big Husqvarna fan. Operating that 2100. Matter of fact, the second I'm done with this live, or within a few minutes, I'll upload a short of that 2100. Have you ran a Husqvarna 2100? Because just in person, it had so much pop, and I probably never felt compression the same. That's just being like perfectly honest. I ran some big saws, some beautiful saws. Man, Logan has such a great collection, and you guys know what I'm talking about when I say like a super clean collection. I have a very nice collection, but I have some saws that don't run, that are kind of missing some parts or just not all the way there yet. His collection's one of those that, you know, you pick it up, maybe clean the carburetor or kind of give it a little, you know, they've been sitting for a little while. You give them a little love, but they're all complete. They're all there. They're beautiful, beautiful chainsaws. I actually got some pretty good footage of it. I'm really happy to show it. It is my first interview style, so that'll be dropping tomorrow, though. Almost sounds like a little Polaris or something. set that right there. That's where it wants to be. That's its home. Go to your home. Not going to be a Seesaws Live without dropping at least one chainsaw off a log. Let me grab something else real quick. All right, I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to spend too much time on this chainsaw right here. This right here is a Husqvarna. It's a 261. It does have a metal case, metal clutch cover, and a plastic handle. 261. Is this? Should I put my time and money into this one? This is the only Husqvarna I have. I'm like hooked on getting a Husqvarna going. Is the 261 worth my time? Should I just get it running and move on, or should I port the piston or whatever? I'm going to check the comments real quick on that one. Also going to fire this up. Yeah, like I said, the 261. Honest opinion on it. Like, please, any Husky fans out there, let me know what to do with this saw, or if I just need to send it to one of you guys. If this belongs in your collection, let me know. You know, one of the things I want to do is find, you know, saws that go to the right people. So if this isn't right for me, let me know if it's right for you. I'm going to fire this one back up, hopefully. Yeah, you know, I've been real curious if I want to put a lot of time into that chainsaw. I don't know much about Huskies other than I know I need to get more. My experience with the 2100 and, well, Logan's got a lot of Huskies over there. We're going to go back and take a better look at some of them. And I'm really excited about that. This 261, I'll kind of go back to the comments. I really wish it was I know some people are so excited about the 266. Brake does not work. I like that it's not a plastic saw. I feel like I had a 41 and a 51 that had a plastic case. I'm kind of curious if it's possible to put a bigger bore on here, turn this into a 266. I'll go back to the comments and check and see what people think about these. Also, hey, thank you guys for showing up. I actually appreciate it a lot. We got a lot of really exciting things coming up. Please check out my video tomorrow because I got to run some of the best chainsaws I've ever had in my hands. I'm getting really excited about making these videos. I absolutely love it. We're going to still fire up and talk a little bit about this Western Super Easy. I want to grab something else here as well. Like I said, just any thoughts on the 261, and to be honest, if it's not something I should build, I should just move on. This belongs in your collection or somebody you know or whatever. This is somebody that needs it. I mean, you know, I'd be happy to move it on to somebody else necessarily. But if it's something special, let me know. I'm happy with the way this Super XL's idling. Nice to put this in the runs category. I do think it needs a spark plug, just in general. I kind of like it though. I wanted to modify it a little bit, just, I mean, being that it's in such good shape and feel like I checked and it was like an 84. I don't know if that sounds right, or 83. I'm an 83, so I have a particular fondness for 83 chainsaws. Let me grab one real quick though. Speaking of an 83 chainsaw, this is gonna reminds me of it instantly. As I go too far, it's actually the saw I just brought out, because that is the type of attention I pay to live here at CSAWs. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it too. Craftsman 3.7 J2 saw shop. It actually has one of these. It looks like the Poulon 3400. Wish it would get rid of that saw to me. It's gray, and it's a 3.7. I don't know. This one's got to be older. I don't know what year this is. Do you guys have thoughts on these as well? I have an opinion on this one. The 261, I don't have an opinion on yet, because I haven't spent much time with it, but I got an opinion on this one, and it's not always great, and I don't know why. I mean, probably because this leaks fuel on my floor. If you look here, looks like it's been JB welded or something on the case, and the feel is the leak is pretty minor, and I think it's coming from the case, but up in here. So I actually have red coat. Hold on, let me check and see real quick. All right, I hope this shows here. This is what I got to fix the gas tank. I think this is the right product. It's a red coat. I've actually seen it used online. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it inside the Craftsman just for fun. I need to determine though, like how much, stuff I need to pull out of the inside of the tank. And me being a painter, I obviously know, preparation is key. Anyway, this one runs great. I also have a couple other of these. I thought about just kind of getting to the right homes, They're non-runners and I haven't messed with them. But I'd like to at least make sure there's something decent for somebody. I'm going to check the comments real quick on this Craftsman 3.7. I'm assuming this right here is chain tensioner, and this, I guess, is a chain sharpener. I don't really know. Do those work? I'm going to say the chain is not sharp, so probably no. If you guys would like, I'll fire this 3.7 up real quick. It's been a while. It's just going to dump gas eventually. It's not like it's a bad leak. It's just a slow leak. I could fire it up real quick though. 3.7 is, I think it's like 59 cc's. I don't know, let me see. I could also move on to something else if nobody's interested in that. This right here is actually a really good tire chuck too. If you look, the bar length, when the tire rolls onto it, it kind of holds the saw and the wheel all in one spot. So really good tire chuck. Also makes a good boat anchor. Has a hole here for anchoring. Really good for those. I'll fire it up though. Let me see if anybody's interested at all in that one. I'm seeing 0 interest in the Craftsman, and that's about how much interest I usually possess in the Craftsman. So that's kind of it's kind of where I'm at on that. Although I do see a language I don't recognize here. Maybe that guy wants to see it. So we're gonna throw a little bit of fuel in there and see what happens. Just in case that one guy, just in case, wanted to see it. I'm gonna fire it up. Better than I expected. Also got a couple other cool things that the Stihl MS261, which I'm questioning if it's going to help the performance. I need to ask somebody who knows. And I'm going to try not to spill gas everywhere or put too much in, because we all know that the gas is going to spill itself on this saw. I'm trying to give this one a chance, because I don't even know why, to be honest. There's a couple people. I mean, I feel like, who is it? Is it, I don't know if it's Gone Sawing on YouTube, the Redwood Saws guy that was saying it was good. Somebody was saying, maybe it was JT himself was saying they like these. I just don't know. We're going to do no prime, choke on, We're going to twist this knob, whatever that is. Going to push this down, which is the fuel. Oh wow, you can really feel the oil pump, and the oil pump definitely works great on this thing. Throttle lock, and this maybe. Okay. Well, I'm assuming there's an on and an off position here. Okay, here we go. It's marked on the side. From the top, you can't see it. You know, that's why they call these Craftsman. Forward is off. So backwards is on. And that has nothing to do with the throttle lock because there doesn't exist. Okay, here we go. Going to give it a couple light pulls to see if it will draw some fuel. Actually, compression is quite well, to be honest. Really good. Alright, here we go. This thing starts up on like 4th pull. I'll be surprised. This thing starts up at all. I'll be surprised. You know, first time ever, after Husqvarna 2100, my arm was a little sore. And it wasn't the next day, it was like 2 days later, which is today. You know, let's throw a little prime in there. Let's just get this thing started. It's been a while. I like to get them out and at least try to make a cut with them. I forget the condition of that chain, but if it cuts, you know, I wouldn't even know what to tell you, to be honest. I also like to keep my filters so full of grease that you can't see sunlight, daylight, or anything. It's kind of like having a full-time choke. It's not as bad, but this filter, man, it's pretty old. Let me get a little bit of prime gas, and we're gonna see if we can get this one to start. At this point, I'm kind of determined, even though it's probably the saw of the day that won't start. My trusty paint bottle. It has not melted yet. You can see it has tons of colors from all the cars I painted over the years. I've had this forever. I kept it when I left my work, along with this fancy sweatshirt, if you guys are wondering where I used to work and, you know, a corporation to not work with. No, I'm joking. We're gonna go ahead and open the choke. We're gonna open the choke full. Throw a little fuel in there. That is so nice just to be able to squeeze that. And I mean, look how well that threads in there. Some of these, you know, here with this big bracket in the way, you just thread that right on in there. It's flexible. These are pretty cheap. This one's made by DeVilbiss. Alright, choke open. I'm assuming we're in the on position. See what happens. I wish it had a throttle lock. Okay, I got fuel coming out there. I probably should have opened that. Oh, I felt something. Oh, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and go to half choke. And I'm also going to dump the fuel out that came out of the card because I also forgot to hit the trigger and let it fall down in the crankcase. That was nice of me. It's not very much, so I'll dump it on that piece of wood, but I don't think my grass likes me very much. Half choke, no throttle lock. See what happens. Oh, it keeps trying. We're gonna go more choke. Now we're gonna go no choke. Now we're gonna go a little bit of throttle. We're gonna go back to the choke and see if we can get some fuel to draw up in there. I wish this had a throttle lock. Maybe it does. Not that I see. I'm gonna go full choke, give it a few pulls, see if we can get it to drop fuel. Oh, there it goes. It sounds like it is. I'm so excited about some of the lives coming up and some of the saws coming down the line. Craftsman actually doesn't sound so bad. That chain is so bad when we left it, it makes it cut. Kind of like it. Actually, it sounds throatier than the factory. This is a way better saw. Choose this 10 over 10 times. Just at idle, that one kind of sounds good. I'm going to warm up a second and put the comments. If you think I should lean it out a little bit on the high jet. Running a little rich. The choke was out about halfway or close to it. Now watch. Oh yeah, that sounds way better. What are the odds, right? I'm surprised it ran good with the choke on like that. Alright, don't judge me on this chain because this is not my work. Matter of fact, we'll try the auto sharpener right now. If anybody knows, do I just twist this, like clockwise? I'll run it in the wood and we'll try the auto sharpener. Yeah, real quick, if anybody knows, this is the auto sharpener, I'm assuming, right here. There's no real, like, decal, but do I turn that clockwise? I guess I'm reaching like a tight point right there. I'll make some cuts and we'll see if that actually does anything. Right now I'm just going to leave it, I guess, in the loose position. I'll check the comments real quick if anybody knows anything about that. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, and anybody commenting, definitely, when I was asking about her, she's a little rich. Yeah, she was, and like I said, I had to choke out a little bit. it sounded a little bit better overall. It still might be a little rich. I'm gonna fire it up. I'm gonna make a cut unsuccessfully by the looks of this chain. I hope you guys can see that. There's like a little edge that's shiny, almost as if just running it through what I did changed it. And I'm gonna tighten this all the way real quick. It doesn't feel any different. I'm gonna loosen it in the loosen direction all the way. Doesn't feel any different. I don't really know what that thing is. We're gonna open it up and see what's inside of there someday. I'm really curious. Maybe it's like a magical little elf in there doing some sharpening. Lazy elf. Doing nothing there. Oh, that sounds so good for what it was. Not gonna lie. Oh, that one popped pretty good. Yeah. Craftsman chain sharpener. Number 1. Let me know what you guys think. Does this belong in your collection? What is this? I use it as a chalk for the tires on my Jeep. It's already leaking a little bit of gas. That's okay. That was to be expected. So, run out of things to cut. We'll just cut that. All right. C91, guys. So check the feel in this one. I'm not sure where she's at, if I'm honest. I'm actually kind of excited about this. I've got the saw, where I got this saw. I got it from a gentleman who I bought a chainsaw from about, oh, I don't know how long. Let me go show you. I'll show you what I got from him before. But it was a few weeks ago. And I was so happy with it. The guy was so nice. When I got there, he was like, I don't know, it's just one of those old school nice people. Let me show you what I grabbed before. This is Lumber Lightning 4.2. I believe it's like 65 cc's. And I also ripped the pull cord right out. Mostly just because I'm a real savage, you know. I don't know my own strength, and I just like to rip cords out of saws. Actually, it was ignorance. Like most of my mistakes in life. Anyway, I got this demonstrator model, which is pretty cool. It's the only white one I've ever seen that's completely white. Definitely had a custom paint job on it, but it looked like it was some kind of factory thing. Anyway, I got this saw from that guy. He was so nice, and kind of gave me a little bit of heads up that this one was coming down the line. And for me right now, wrap handles, especially in these C-Series, I'm just happy to get one. This one's a little banged up, and it's not bad. And but I'm just happy to get these because I want to have fun with some of these C-Series chainsaws. I'm curious about the performance on them. I recently ran a 1020, Super 1020 Homelite. That's 100 cc's, and that thing had so much power. It was so fresh. It was a real eye-opening experience because you look at these big saws, they look a little clunky, and you don't expect them to have any revs at all. And his saw, man, that was such a great saw. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll have a bunch of it posted. I have a short posted right now. It was an eye-opener. So I don't know, I don't know where this one stands. I have never started it. So it has fuel in it. It's got some stinky fuel. I'm not sure what it is, but it smells a lot worse than whatever I have. Luckily, I have clear fuel here, so I'm gonna hit the oiler. Yeah. Well, let's give it a proper cold start. Let me stand up here real quick and hold on just 1 second. All right. I like to cut with the tip of the bar and chain. I'm going to go ahead and cut back here today, right now, just so I can keep it in frame the best I can. So the chain on this one, I'm not sure is going to cut. I have no idea. The rakers are almost gone. Like they're completely almost taken off, like non-existent. So it's going to bite hard. The teeth feel like they're almost gone. It's fired up. I have not started this saw since, never started this saw. I'm told it's a runner by Logan. We'll find out. So on, throttle lock, choke, just give a couple pumps of the chain. We'll check the chain real quick. Oh, that oil pump works great, man. Woo. Look at that. I don't know if this is an automatic saw. C71 convertible. I don't know if this is an automatic saw. I want to say that it is. So give it a start, hopefully. That's what happens when you have next to no rakers. I'm going to chop the Craftsman in half. I feel like I want to get some wood on there a little bit better and try that again and just see if that's going to, if I have to throw that chain in the trash or what. It is a skip tooth chain, and man, that thing is violent. When it bites on, man, wow. I have some huge wood up there that we can try it on, and that was very interesting. We'll see if it has the power. I'm going to try to get that piece of wood mounted on there a little better. Well, I don't have any like 9-inch nails, so we'll use a 6-inch screw and see if we can get that to stay down a little bit, and we'll try to run that chain in there and see if it bites. Who cut it like that, right? Why would you cut that? Do you guys even have any, is there a reason it's like that? Is that just like inexperience? What was that? I know Logan didn't cut that chain. He pointed it out to me. Alright, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. Is there any reason that that chain, those rakers are cut down like that? What is it? I have no clue. That is definitely got some bite to it. Let's fire it back up and see if it'll go again. Let me add some fresh fuel to this. There was hardly any in there, and let's got some. Let me dilute it down with whatever is in this tank, because I don't know what's in that one exactly, but definitely doesn't smell clear. I'm assuming it's just regular ethanol premium, probably. I guess not everywhere you can get clear, and or just non-ethanol gas. And I'm lucky, even though it's like $6 a gallon at the place next to me. There's a place about, I'm pretty rural. There's a place about 20 minutes away that's like $5 a gallon. And for non-ethanol, the way I run these and let them sit, fueled up, I'm actually pretty happy I can just get it. Kind of weird. She is acting up there a little bit. She maybe she doesn't like me to run her with not too hot or anything. Let's fire it back up and see if I can clear out whatever's in there. And if not, we'll fire up the C51 and I'll show you the difference of sound between regular and stack. I'd say the compression isn't super great. It's not bad. I do know that these starters have some huge, they have a huge pulley. It seems like they give you a lot of torque. Let's fire this bad boy up again. Just for fun, we'll throw a choke on it, see if that helps. I don't think it's flooded by any means. Go ahead and I'll make a couple of digs again. Got some bite, that's for sure. This is an 85cc chainsaw. Seems to be running pretty decent, and man, yeah, it's got some serious bite. something else. And let me go show you something I just got and see if you guys know anything about it. So that's the chainsaw with no raker gauge. Man, that thing bites. We're gonna put this in some bigger wood for sure. I'm not even gonna mess with that chain. It actually feels pretty sharp. Very cool. It was running kind of funny there for a second. I think it ran something through. Maybe we'll give it a little maintenance, but before I do, I know the guy that I got it from. I'll ask him if he's done anything to it, so I don't waste any time. Let's fire it up real quick. So that was the 85cc C91 C series Homelite chainsaw from the 60s. Now, this is the same series. This is a C51. This one's like 77 cc's, 78 cc's. So there's a pretty big difference in the two overall. But that's not what's going to change the sound. If you look here, that's a stack pipe. So remember what that one sounded like. We'll fire this one up real quick before we get on to the next. And we'll just show you the difference of when they started restricting stuff to when it was just old school. Goodbye environment. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying. Already, you can tell, right? Yeah, that's like a big difference. That's not so neighbor approved. Look at this exhaust alone, it's like a leaf blower. wood is almost gone. I have some more though, but everything I have has slices in it right now. Unless I go up the top of that hill and push it off the edge. That's all I got. Oh, wait, that's not true. I got a piece of cedar right here. I guess I got a piece of pine in there. Can you hear the difference between that stack pipe and that regular? I'm going to see if anybody like even mentioned the difference on that. Yeah, that stack pipe is insane. A couple things we got here. If you look, let's see if you guys can see these custom built spikes. They're kind of built in the backwards way. I would feel the largest spikes should be out here. These are probably going to go. I don't know where exactly. They're kind of cool, so they'll definitely at least go on a shelf. And you know, maybe I'll leave them on there. I'm not sure exactly, but that I got a set of factory Homelite ones that are going to fit perfectly, which are way more functional. And this is kind of the question I have for you guys here. It's about the Stihl 075, and Tom in Texas. If you were watching, you might know the answer to this question. So we'll go ahead and fire this one up. We'll throw a couple cuts into my little nub there, and maybe we'll grab a piece of pine here. Look, we got this guy too. It's not much more than a piece of firewood. There we go. So this Stihl 075, it's a 111cc chainsaw. I got this saw not running with no spark. I got it for an incredible deal, and I traded partial trade for a McCulloch 3616. So not a great chainsaw, to be honest. Nothing like these old legends, you know, the 1010s. But got it for a really good deal, and it had no spark. And so I took out the open donut unit under the flywheel, and I took that out and I put in a Nova chip in its place. And so online it was kind of mixed results if that was going to work. Turns out that worked well. Now the saw is actually performing pretty good, but I just got this given to me by somebody who was really nice and really special, actually, to be honest. Really cool, very nice gesture. This is an electronic coil for the 075, so I've heard sometimes, I guess, with the Nova chip, there's a possibility that you're not going to achieve full spark. There's a possibility, according to the saw shop, that there, you know, maybe some advanced issues with timing and stuff like that. Seems to run pretty well. We'll fire it up right now, throw a couple cuts, and next time we'll put this coil in there and see if we can ditch that Nova chip. The Nova chip I use is just like one of the cheapest ones on Amazon or eBay. I forget where I got it. Keep one around though, because if you guys are having spark issues, that Nova chip might solve some of your problems kind of right away. You can keep them around for like 20 bucks. We're going to do a cold start. So, you know, one of the things I like about live videos is first of all, I just get to rant and talk on to you guys, and I get to go back and read the comments later. But one of the cool things is that you're going to find out what the condition of this saw is right now. Is it going to start on me? It's cold. I haven't even started it in days. So, I mean, you can tell I've been cutting with it, obviously. I assume it's going to start. I assume it's going to idle, and I assume it's going to run well, and I assume the chain's going to be sharp, but that always doesn't happen. If you're running with vintage chainsaws, I feel like at any point in time, you know, you can have some kind of a hiccup or something like that. So that's why I like lives. That's why I like really good chainsaws, is when you fire them up and they work. You know, I'm such a big Husky fan now after my Husqvarna 2100 experience. But anyway, that's the electronic coil for the 075. We'll do an update video. We'll see if we can ditch that Nova chip, ditch the open trigger unit, see what happens, and I'm really excited about this. I hope this one cuts well. We'll set up another piece of wood, And we'll talk a little bit more about some other stuff coming up too. But like I said, if you just got to the live, I've had an eye-opening experience as far as like Husqvarna and some of the quality of chainsaws that I've been had my hands on. So I've got the chance to run some of the biggest, best things I've ever messed with, and I'll be getting a 2100 for sure. No matter what, it's like high on my list. I do all this with a budget, obviously. So I do this all with my cell phone and a tripod with a jack stand in it. So eventually I'll stop buying chainsaws, and but you know, I decided I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to do the very best I can with the equipment that I have, and I just appreciate everybody being here, man. It's been really, really good. What's been great about it, it's the community and the people. And if you're missing any community in your life, it doesn't feel great. And I've been missing, that's a hole in my life for a long time, is community. And most of my friends that lived in the area, I live in a kind of a small rural town in Magnum, leaving all my friends and all my family have passed away or moved away. That's no excuse either. So it's been really nice to kind of get this going. I feel like a lot of the people that I comment back and forth with and message with on YouTube are like genuine friends. People I would actually help out if they ever needed anything in their life, and hoping to meet a lot more people through it. And I actually want everybody to meet each other, so this chainsaw thing has been really pretty cool. The people are insanely great, you know. Just the type of people, the quality of people I've been meeting are all like kind of down to earth. I haven't actually been running into like judgmental people or anything. Everything's really cool so far. Hope to just keep kind of doing it. I'm really enjoying it, and I like to come and chat with you guys. So you know, we're gonna get a lot more of these put together, and there's a lot more stuff coming. Some big things changing, and I'm like learning rapidly every day. I'm learning something. I'm cramming it in there because I want to do some live videos rebuilding chainsaws. And any of you young guys out there, man, if you're thinking about building them and stuff, just do it. Start with it. Good little tip of advice for anybody who's starting to work on chainsaws or anything is label your screws and put them in a little lunch bag, or separate them in any way if you can. Even if you think you're going to put the saw away tomorrow, and never throw a part away unless it's, you know, absolutely gone. But always save a part all the way to the very end, as long as you can at least. And then learn from the old guys who've been doing it forever. So that's my key, man. If I get in front of one of these old guys, or even the young guys, hanging out with a guy like Logan and running his chainsaws, I actually learned a lot. He knows so much more than I do about the history, and he's a logger, and so he knew a lot about it. So listen to those guys and learn when you can, because that knowledge is so great. And yeah, I mean, and he's the kind of people too that's like an inspiring kind of person. So hang out with inspiring people that want to lift you up. Like, hang out with people that want to lift you. You know, so many people around are just haters. And, they're good too, and I don't mean that, and they're not even bad people. I don't mean it in a negative way. I just mean, if you can find people that'll lift you up in your life, stick to them, man. They're so valuable. You know, it's like, I don't know where you guys live. I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's a mix of people. I live in an area that was very poor, very logging related community, and it's changed a lot, because as the logs, all the forest has kind of been cut down and changed, and the boom of what was, you know, 100 years ago of logging here is not the same. And it's right on the beach, right on the ocean, and so there's been money from California and money from everywhere, and they're clearing these hillsides and putting houses that are worth millions of dollars. And so things are changing here, you know, and it's been a long change. I've been here my whole life, small town, born and raised in the same spot. I've had most of my life experiences inside a 1 mile radius, you know. And yeah, it's changing a lot. Things are changing, so, you know, I don't get mad at it or frustrated with it. I've learned now to kind of go with it and do your best that you can with the people around you, and yeah, you know, just be around good people as much as you can. I'll stop blabbering a little bit. I apologize for that. I'm going to fire up this 075. I'm going to run it into this wood. I kind of freshly remember what that the Husqvarna 2100 felt like. 2100 had a better chain. but that's not going to be the difference today. We're going to fire this up. Hope she's going to run. I just feel like the 2100 outperformed this. Let me know, guys. 075 or Husqvarna 2100. What were the differences? I mean, have you ran them both? Not 2100, something special, I'll tell you right now. But we're going to also throw this electronic coil in there and see if we get a little bit of bump in performance. Alright, we're not going to prime this. We're not going to do anything to this other than choke, start, stop button. I'm going to put the throttle lock. It's got big chips in it, so she's been cutting. I'm going to give 2 pulls just to pull some feel. Oh yeah, it's got more compression. In my head I was thinking it didn't have as much. Just because that Husqvarna has more than anything I've felt so far. And I don't know if that's normal or what. She's always a little cold-blooded, this one. Well, she's not pulling too much fuel. Maybe I should check. It should have gas in it. I don't remember, to be honest. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm just doing anything to not pull this saw 20 times. After going out and running somebody's large chainsaw collection, it was the first time ever my arm ever felt like a little sore after chainsaws. So sometimes a little bit over here on the left hand, but I've always been pretty good at the right until that damn Husqvarna. And you'll see in the video too, I'll leave it in there. I actually struggled to pull that, and a little bit embarrassing, but you'll see it. I can start it, luckily. Oh man, whew. This is welcome to live Seymour saws. This is how we do it. I like to pull the saws 152 times. I like to get them lubricated. You know, who needs a gym? Man, I swear, either I'm getting old or the bigger saws are just getting harder. We're in the on position, choke, throttle lock. She's all there. Hopefully she'll run. I don't see any kind of moisture or anything in the exhaust yet. Doesn't look like it's like flooded. You think half choke, full choke still? I'm gonna go 2 pulls, full choke. Okay. We're gonna go half choke, throttle lock. I've looked at this switch 700 times. But do you ever do that where you're like, it's gotta be off? All right, here we go. Oh, I should be pulling feel. We'll think about that just for 1 second. Yeah, that's fine. New arms, 2100. I also got to run a Poulon 495, which is like a 70cc. It's like a John's Red 77cc. John's Red relabeled. That saw was surprisingly good. Plastic clutch cover, so it's kind of weird for such a beast of a saw. Oh man, that was fun. We'll let this one sit for 1 second. I have a feeling it's going to start. Maybe we'll do some left-handed starting. Just messing around. So it's pretty windy out here. How's the wind doing out there for you guys? Is it too much? If it's too much on there, just let me know. I think I'll take a little bit of masking tape, and I usually will make like a shield or something for rain. Maybe I'll put a little bit of a shield down on the bottom and see if we can kind of stop some of the wind, because it's quite windy back here. I don't know if it's showing through or not, or if you can hear it so much, but it's got to be on the camera. So I don't have a proper mic. We're just doing this with a cell phone and a jack stand, and someday I'll take a picture and show you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of tape around the mic real quick, and we'll try to fire this bad boy up again. Also, don't judge me for saying bad boy. That is a bad habit. I don't mean to do it. I'm not doing that on purpose. Who says bad boy like that? Jesus, man. Didn't even mean to say that either. I'm just, all over the place here. Yeah, we'll see if maybe this will help with the wind. Let me know too if this is just like ruins the audio, please. Hopefully this will help. Okay. All right. Back to the 075. We are in the correct position. We're going to prime it just to save us trouble. But to be honest, there's no reason it should be primed. It should pull enough fuel by now. But we got to do something, right? It's one of those times when you don't know what to do and you just start doing things, which is probably one of the worst things you can do in life. I have learned that. I ran a paint shop for a really long time, and I had a lot of helpers, and some of the good helpers they wanted to help but didn't know what to do, so they would just start doing things, and often it would be not helpful. So any of you young guys who are learning, who just really are eager to get out there and get your opportunities to learn, half of learning is also staying out of the way of your technician or your lead guy or whoever, your tree guy, whoever's teaching you. Always remember, at the end of the day, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you're kind of there to make money. And I don't mean it's a money game, but the guy's going to dedicate his time and teach you a trade. Do your very best to be very helpful, but also do your best to stay out of the way. That's one of the key things. If I had a helper and I was to ask him, will you please go get me some 320 grit sandpaper? If that helper comes to me and says, where is the 320 grit sandpaper, without looking on the shelf that we would go to every day for sandpaper, those are the kind of mentalities. Always stop and go, can I figure this out on my own? Do I need to bug this technician, or do I need to bug this leader? They will notice if you're staying out of their way and you're producing for them. They might not tell you at the end of the day. They might not tell you at the end of the week. They will notice. And when you're undeniably good, and here's another quick thing. I'll shut up before I get on too far. But if you're undeniably good, they will notice. It may take you more time. A lot of people think a month, 2 or 3 months, you paid your dues and you should be getting all the bonuses and all the raises, and 6 months in you should be, a full technician and all that. It takes a little time, but be undeniable. If you're undeniable, your opportunity will come. I know for a fact. One of the few things I can guarantee, and if it doesn't come where you're at, if you're undeniable, it'll come somewhere else. But give it time. A lot of these people that teach you have put in their years, for some of them decades, 30 years, 40 years, and they did it at a different time when, and so you got to have a little bit of respect for understanding what it takes to get the knowledge and the tools that they've got, and just be patient and listen, and stay out of the way while being productive. It's a balance, but I guarantee you, being out of the way is just as good as being right there helping. Okay, choke is going to be fully open. We are in the start position for the 600th confirming check time, and throttle lock on. Please start, and 4 pulse. excuse me, my voice just cracked like a 13-year-old boy. Serious question. I think the 075 would outcut the brand new 261, the 50cc. And I mean on little wood. Obviously on some big stuff it'll destroy it. I'm kind of curious though, at 6 to 8 inches of wood, what saw would really win. That's a big 404 chain taking big bites. Also, this Stihl 075 is not nearly as revvy, or at least how I have it tuned or set up, or something along those lines. It's not quite as revvy as I expected. I'm also a little bit nervous to lean it out too much. Let me know if you guys think I can get away with leaning it out a little more, if you can hear it cut. I'm pretty excited to throw this in there and see. Jacking up a little bit. I wonder if maybe we got a little bit more of that happens to be sitting here. Some more of this hair in that back corner of the tank. I gotta be honest, I didn't clean it all the way because I didn't want to split the tank in half. So I just kind of like scraped it out the best I could. Thought, well, if I rebuilt the carburetor a couple more times, maybe it won't be that big of a deal. Yeah, it felt a little weird. Let's go ahead and see if that goes away. Guys, I'm gonna say more stuff got through the fuel thread again. More of this broke down. I'm gonna call it angel hair. If you've ever had that issue before with the stuff getting by the filter from previous donkey filter products, let me know. But I think that's ignition too. Maybe that'll solve the problem. right, that sounds like it's falling flat on the high jet only, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Um, the idle is perfect. The initial pop is good, and I get it to lean into it, and it's just kind of not there. Or maybe it has to do with that screen getting clogged one more time. She's been running really, really good lately, and maybe I should just crack down and split that case. Or not the case, but you guys take a look here. Are you familiar with these? I know Tommy out there is. He's probably already split the case on one of these, or split the tank on one of these. It's kind of a weird unit. It's the starter and the fuel tank, and it's also a two-piece unit that you have to take apart and unscrew from the inside. And there's a gasket in between here, which, who knows, I'm sure you could probably get it. I definitely could make it, or maybe not even need it. Really, to be honest, you might just use some RTV or Moto Seal or whatever it is people are using. But to get this back corner into the starter, it's kind of nice, I guess, that they have that little opening extra for fuel. But there's so much gunk inside of here that I just can't get out of there. And I've cleaned the carburetor like 12 times. This is the longest it's lasted, and I was so impressed after I got this guy wedged out of the corner. Just gonna take a look and see. Yeah, there's really no way to share that with you guys to show you. Splitting the tank, I still just got mixed feelings. I don't know if you guys done it. You could say so or not. I just don't know what to do on that one. Which is a bummer because I was excited to fire that up, but let me fire up one more here. Well, no, I don't know. We might do 10 more. I have no idea. I've been thinking about debating climbing up the hill here and grabbing like a real log because I just got some other stuff I wanted to show too. It's the other one I wanted to fire up. Let's fire it up real quick and see how she's doing. I'm gonna go ahead and fire this up, and maybe we'll just hold the throttle wide open a couple times and see if we can just kind of see if anything's stuck in there and if it'll go away. Falling flat, guys. Well, I'm sure there's probably more residue down in there. I've been starting to like this one more lately just because it's been running well. And things I've learned lately, especially about judging saws, make sure you judge a good one, right? You know, you'd hate to pick up pick up an old 1010 that's not tuned correctly and that somebody's abused over the years and then judge it by all 1010s, right? That would be a bad idea. I think there's something to knowing, you know, the condition of your saw when you're running it before you make too much of a judgment. I've had a lot of MS261s. Let me show you real quick here. You guys are all familiar with the 261, I'm assuming. Maybe there's some more Husky fans in here, I'm not sure. I have a lot of Stihl. But the 261 is just a great chainsaw, right? You know, it works every day. It's something you just kind of know about, you know it's light, you know it works well. And then you got these these 261s that have just been ran hard.
And now I'll give them credit; they still run pretty good, and they're pretty decent saws. But I've had a pretty big difference between this one right here and the one I sold recently. And I sold it as a heavy use 261. It had been around quite some time, but it still ran great. It's still, but if you were to pick that saw up and go, a 10-year-old 261 that's been ran hard with a 25-inch bar for, 10 years, right? Um, that might not be your best example. And so that's my experience with Husky, and I've been real careful not to judge Huskies, but I've had some of the modern ones um, not run or perform well on job sites and places that I was at when they needed to, and I wasn't mean, so could have been user error. Um, and then there's the good Huskies, right? And then there's people who take care of them. So, running that 2100 is just a good eye opener. I'm excited to build up. Well, let me just grab it real quick instead of talking about it. There's two I want to kind of bring up, and we're going to fire up this guy here. This is not the 032 if that was your first thought. I run that 032 a lot. This is actually, it's the 031 AV. It's a pretty early one. It's got the raised lettering. There's no badge. I forget if this one wants to run all the time. Chain looks like there's something there. I'd like to fire this up just to keep it going, keep it fresh. But let me grab something else real quick, the one that's kind of like pulling at me, because I just want to get this other one going. So we got a good pile going on here, but let me go grab this real quick. And I almost want to try to start it just for fun, even though I feel like it never will. Get ready for this one, man. Here it is. Mustang 13. This is not the saw I'm talking about, obviously. I just want to talk about it really quick. We'll revisit this one. I'm going to show you the one that I was really meaning to my heart. I'll try not to get too far off track here. All right, it's this guy. Let me get this 261 over here real quick. Love those 261s, by the way. If you're hesitant about buying one, or if you're, like debating getting like a 271 or a 290 or a 311, if you've got the money, I'd probably get the 261 over all those. It's just an honest opinion. I might have to revisit on that 311 comment, but I've got one coming down the line, so we'll take a look at that as well. So this one right here is the 2100, and if you go back to my most recent short, I ran a 1020, a Super XP 1020 Homelite, and it had so much more power and pop, and was revier than expected. Much revier than expected. I don't think it was too lean or anything like that. It was just overall in general, I expected the saw to be like a 8500 or something max. It felt even higher than that. I'm not sure where the RPMs are at. But this is a 2100 here. This one right here is 115 cc's. This is the biggest chainsaw that I own. It's kind of one of the biggest ones that I kind of know of in general. This one does have low compression, but it also does not have a decompression valve inside of it right now at the moment. And I would be very lucky if that was my problem, but I don't think it is. I cannot remember how deep I got into the exhaust and checking the piston on this one. I did on the 750, because we also have 100 plus cc, maybe 110 cc Homelite 750 that I am really also curious about. That one I did check, which does need a set of rings. So if anybody has some rings for a Homelite 750 laying around, reach me at SeymourSaws@gmail.com. husqvarna.com. And you can always find me there. um, and a lot of you have. And actually, you know, I just want to take 1 second too to appreciate all the people that have reached out. It's really pretty cool. Like, makes me feel good. I'm a little slow sometimes to respond, but that's more because I don't like letters than I'm more of a talker than a writer. But anyway, thanks for reaching out to all you guys who have. The 2100 and the 750 I heard have the same rings. I read that somewhere, and I don't remember if it was a reliable source or if it was like a 15-year-old, you know, thread. But I'll reach out to Leon from Chainsaws Parts and Repair, and I'll see what he says and about getting a set of rings of this. I'm curious if this is going to be as revvy as the 1020, the 100cc 1020. I don't know. I'm actually like really curious. 1020 seemed like it had more revs than both the C91 and the C51. It felt so fresh. And just like I said, that saw made me realize, and like I said, go back, there's a lot more coming on my channel of that saw. I got a lot of good cuts on some pretty big wood, like 24 inch at least. A couple different types of wood. Got good cuts in that one. That's coming in tomorrow in a video. I'm posting that with running like a bunch of other large chainsaws, and also did kind of a little bit of my first interview, kind of spontaneous thing. So, you know, the videos turned out to be my favorite personal one so far. I wish it was done right now and posted, but it'll be done by tomorrow, hopefully. It's just a really good opportunity. Probably my longest video as well. So if you're like into watching, running and cutting and actually looking at other chainsaw collections up close, it's gonna be a great video. And you know, the thing about Logan is he's got so much there to take a look at, and I have a saw that belongs in his collection, so we're gonna go back, and I hope we get to do, you know, hope we get to do it again. So one of the most fun things I've ever done regarding chainsaws. So that's the S2000. Needs rings, definitely needs a decompression valve. Not sure if I'm going to work on this one or the 750 next. And I'll just show you the 750 real quick since we're on topic. And you kind of let me know if you guys have a preference or think there's going to be availability or whatever. But Super 2100 automatic, or should I work on this other one? Let me grab it real quick. Now, we're going to just take a minute on this 750, and then we're going to fire some stuff back up, and we're going to get some saws running again. I got this piece of pine right here to cut, and if I'm feeling ambitious, we'll roll one off the hill. We just have to move all these logs because it comes down to some crazy velocity. These spikes here are amazing. I think those are a factory Homelite. Well, maybe not. There's two holes. Anyway, there's a matching pair there. Amazing. Chain is actually in pretty good shape. It's the Homelite 750. Now, I did look at the piston on this, and it was a little bit beat up and a little bit scored. If you've watched, there's a video of it. And but everything else, it seemed complete. Your decompression valve is not hooked up now. There is a little more compression than what's in here right now. Well, that's about it, probably. I haven't even checked the spark. But what saw do you guys think is better? Is it the 750 or the 2100? Because I get kind of one opportunity to do one of these next, and I'm going to throw, I don't have much of a budget, but I'm going to throw what I can at them. And I'm having a hard time deciding. I'm kind of liking the 750. Kind of excited about it. In my honest opinion, I feel like the Husqvarna 2100 will outperform it. I have no idea. It's like 100 and some odd cc's. We'll see though. But let's fire up something real quick here. Look at this monstrous thing. Also too, I've heard that I guess some of them have like a 7/8 inch clutch, and if I'm honest, I don't exactly know what that means, but when I measure the clutch bell here, it's 7/8. Is this a 7/8 clutch? Doesn't have an extra large cover on there, but from the actual clutch drum itself is 7/8 wide almost exactly. So if you know anything about that, I'm going to dig through there because that is something I've been really curious about. I've heard those were more desirable. Case actually isn't too bad on this. A lot of these, they're kind of rotted out right here, and this one's actually in pretty decent shape in comparison to some of the others. Now, one reason I'm like a little hesitant to redo the 750 over the 2000 or the 2100 Homelite is because I love this 450 and it's easier to work on. I think it doesn't have the decompression valve. It's a little tighter. So I've got this beautiful full wrap handle. I am so lucky to have gotten this handle. Like, came with a part saw that I got that a guy told me I must buy. People don't usually tell me that, so you must buy this part saw, but he told me that. And then when I bought it, I realized I had a wrap handle on it. It was the most exciting moment. It's a lot like when I got this little Western Homelite right here. You guys familiar with that? If you've been watching this since the beginning, this is a super easy automatic Western style with the weird exhaust cover, but the wrap handle. Such a great chainsaw. I'll fire that one back up. That's the one that deserves a little bit more time. And maybe this 450, because even with this factory exhaust with the screen on there, you wouldn't think it had such a good sound, but this thing's got a great pop to it. Now, you probably wouldn't think a 40cc chainsaw is like up there as like one of my favorites, but it is. I'm actually going to do something special with this one, and what you probably can't see is that maybe you can. I'll see if the paint will come in. Can you guys see the paint there? It's got a lot of bubbles in it, and it's just not quite. It's in need of a paint job, and I actually have another Super Easy that's in really good condition. The paint and the case and everything are all pretty much like new, but I don't really necessarily want to swap them around. I kind of want to do a custom paint job on this, and I was thinking about just getting it down to primer and getting it all sealed up and kind of just nice and appropriate and ready for paint, and then I'm going to paint it something else. I want to do something a little different with it, and I want to modify it, but I don't want to modify it in any way that's going to change it like forever. I was a professional painter for years, so I can always go back and change it to the red color if I want, and I'll save the decal as much as I can. But I want to do something kind of fun with it. I don't know if that's looked frowned upon, modifying like some of this old stuff. This one's pretty common, and it's also pretty beat up. It is a Western though, so that gets me excited, and it actually seems to run pretty good. We'll fire it up and we'll make a cut into my little tiny log here, as long as I don't hit that 6-inch screw, right? And I do not ever want to hit metal like that again. I've done it a couple times, especially in the early days, and I didn't realize how sensitive it was hitting a nail or hitting metal or dirt. I operated a chainsaw for like, I don't know, far too long before I realized how dirt, like this is before the internet, I didn't even know dirt was so bad. I just knew that I would constantly have to sharpen my chainsaw, and then I eventually put it together. feels like compression. That's just because the decompression valve's on. We're just going to do no choke, and we are going to have the ignition on and just see what happens. I really don't like the decompression hooking up to the throttle lock, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of choke. Now we're going to go no choke. Grab something else real quick, maybe a little stronger. I've had this 20 volt Black & Decker for so long now, and it's always been really trustworthy. That's the first time it's ever really kind of failed to do something for me. Maybe she's getting old, but it had plenty of battery. It was just didn't want to do it. So this is a 20 volt. This one's not a hammer or anything, but it should have enough torque. Rev that up real quick. I'm going to throw just I'm going to bend that screw off of that piece of wood and we'll get to cutting again.
forget sometimes that this saw is so small. You forget how powerful it actually is. Looks like it's a standard 3/8 on there. Maybe that's a low profile. I don't know. It looks like it might be a standard 3/8 chain on there. I'm just really curious now. Like, it doesn't have a sprocket, but I'm kind of curious. If you put the right chain on here in the right condition, this thing is gonna rip hard. I just can't believe it already. I've had another super easy that is a little bit not so super easy. It's more like super temperamental. But so far this one seems to be all right. And let's make a couple cuts with it. That wrap handle, man, I can't get enough of that. Do you guys have that? Have you seen this? I know Leon's channel has one, and I tried to buy one forever and I just kind of gave up. It looks kind of simple to make. Any of you guys out there know how to fabricate it, there you go. That's something for a project. Let's fire it up real quick. Playing with, but man, that thing is so much fun. I just can't believe those little Homelites. And yeah, we got another one to fire up here real quick, but I just want to take a minute again, man, to tell everybody thank you. I appreciate it so much for everybody being here and just being a good place. You know, I do it honestly just for a place. I hope, you know, you guys chat in the comments and stuff, but it's just nice to kind of hang out and have a place just to watch some saws, you know, and maybe it's got a little bit of NASCAR vibes as far as you never know what's going to happen here, but that's not on purpose. It's just kind of who I am. You know, there's a lot of saws here going on right now, and yeah, it's just kind of been really nice. So just hanging out and like being out here. So we're gonna start this 031 real quick. I'm not sure the gas situation. It's got fuel in there. Sometimes she's a little temperamental. I don't remember. I think I might have cleaned the carb. Not really sure. Yeah, give her a start. I'm gonna do this choke. These chokes are actually built into the air cleaner, a lot like some of the late model stuff, but it's way better. So I really actually don't mind it on this 031 and the 032. Everything else, it can go in the trash. I'm just messing around. Now it's been quite some time since I fired this one up. So I expect, being a Stihl, I've got 55 more pulls. Actually harder to pull than it looks. So I turned it to no choke. I'm gonna turn it back to half choke. No choke.
back to choke. I don't think we got too much fuel. I think we got not enough. Maybe I'm wrong. She tried. Alright, so the 031, we're going to revise this saw. This is on temporary operator error, probably. 031's pretty great, though. Let me grab something else. Okay, we're just gonna pick this up real quick because we're just gonna see if it'll start one more time. No choke, switch is on, throttle lock is on. There we go. We're going to revisit that. There's definitely some operator error. I just don't want to throw it in the air right now. This one right here, believe it or not, is a very special chainsaw, and for multiple reasons, but let me show it to you. You like it? How many of you guys have a chainsaw in this condition right now? This is not how I like to keep them. This is a Stihl 38 Magnum. And there's a couple things I want to talk about. And this isn't the Magnum I run. If you guys are familiar with the show or the channel, this is not the Magnum I run on a regular basis. I could fire that one up though. The Magnum now, the 038 Magnum, the 72cc, that chainsaw is amazing actually. It's kind of, it's one of those like must-have on my list saws. And I have one, so it's pretty nice. And I have two. And this one here, this one had a crank seal leak and a bearing issue. And got quite lucky that when the case, this is the new bearing, but the case that holds the ball bearings intact came apart. And when that came apart, I could only account for about like 50% of it. And so therefore the other, 50% went somewhere, right? Kind of reminded me like back in the day when, to get shot with a musket, they would go in there and they would pull all the shirt out and try to patch the shirt back into the hole of the wounds to know if they had a little piece of shirt festering inside of your body. Well, that was kind of the same kind of thing I was trying to do with this bearing and find all the pieces to ensure there was nothing floating around, but obviously we pulled it apart to find out. However, we got extremely lucky because this is a factory Stihl 038 Magnum piston, and I'm just going to tell you real quick about these. If you're shopping for an 038, be very careful because the top covers are interchangeable with the smaller versions, but the head needs to be 2 inches by 1 7/8. That is how you can tell if it's a real genuine Magnum. That's 2 inches by 1 7/8. Now the other ones will be 1 7/8 by 1 3/4, and that's the other two smaller sizes that I'm less familiar with. But anyway, this is the one that I just have a feeling this saw belongs into someone else's collection. I don't necessarily need doubles. And I just want them to go out to people that are like really going to appreciate them and stuff. So I think this one's going to go out to somebody else. It's in great condition. I haven't done anything to it. I haven't put it together because I was debating on porting it, but think I'm gonna just leave it alone. It can always be ported in the future. I'm just gonna leave it as factory. I may polish that exhaust port a little bit, just to polish, no timing adjustments. But this piston, probably can't tell, it looks beautiful. We got so lucky that a piece of that case did not end up in the combustion chamber. So the the cylinder looks beautiful. We got all factory parts here. I'm not going to put aftermarket parts in these saws that I know are going to get ran and that are like great, unless I don't have any other choice, you know. But on the saws that are going to get out there and you know are going to get run, I'm going to run this one myself. I know. So those are the new parts there, new crank or new case seal and stuff like that. I try to keep this thing in a box because that's actually a pretty valuable piston alone, probably worth as much as most of the saws. And then let me show you, this case is actually in pretty good shape as well. You know, this is kind of it all tore down except for the brake. I left the brake mechanism in there because it just was easier that way. And it just needs a good cleaning. The mounts are strong, good condition. There's no major damage in it. And I'm just pretty happy with it. So, yeah. We'll put a new fuel, we'll put a new, you know, stuff in there for the oil tank, but the case is not bad. And then this is the original clutch cover for it, which is kind of cool. And it's got a factory spike on there, which is nice. A little bit of damage though. I'm not sure what's happened here or what is going on, but it's got a little bit of silicone, but you could tell that was a repair that was done years ago. Very cool. You can get these around. And metal starters, they're so nice. There's only a single paw in here, which I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it may be. And no tag. So when this saw was for sale, I actually had to take some time and told the guy, I said, hey, you know, when I get there, I'm going to need to pull the cover off to measure the head, or you could do it before I come out and drive all the way out there. You know, he assured me that it was going to be a Magnum. He felt like he knew somebody who knew that was a Magnum. And the price was so good either way, I decided, you know, I'm just going to buy it as it is. There's something really special with this one real quick here. Hold on, let me go get it real quick. Alright, so the handle that came on that 038 was this donut style handle right here. This is the exact handle that was on the 038. I put it on this 028 because I wanted to be silly and have fun and see if it worked. It actually fits great and I love it so much I would never want to take it off. But it belongs on the 038 and it's my favorite wrap handle of all time. Do you guys, are you familiar with these handles? The ones that come all the way across the bottom on these old Stihls. Absolutely my favorite handle. If you ever find one of these anywhere you go, grab it. It's probably valuable. You can't even buy them on eBay. At least not that I've noticed. Anyway, that handle will be going on that 038, and I think that 038 has a home, to be honest, already. And it's because when you find a saw that should go to someone else's collection, you should get it there. There's no need to hoard them all, you know. This is the 028 Wood Boss. Let me just fire it up real quick. It's in my hands. It's probably got fuel in it. So last time it's going to have this amazing wrap handle on it. Well, at least until that one gets built. We'll fire it up real quick. Maybe. Okay, we're good. I need a back cover for this, this 028, if anybody has one, and at a good price. Who likes to trade?
was a cold start. I hadn't started it in a while. That was amazing. This thing is, I can tell right now, it's just got, there's something special about it. It's got something going for it. I went to go throw a chain on this and make some cuts. I've never made a cut with this. I have a bar with it, but it's just kind of, the bar's wore out. I don't even know if I want to put a chain on it, so I actually just thought about going down and getting a new bar. Yeah, let me see if I might have a new chain sitting. I just got some new chains. Just got a new chain too in stock, but I'm wondering if I maybe got something that'll match. So maybe, wouldn't that be great too? I just got this. It was just gifted to me because somebody knows I'm running smaller chains, smaller saws, and that chain is definitely good shape and looks used. Rakers never touched. That's a brand new chain. I don't know what size these are. I think the size I need is like 20. It's probably like a 16. It's got a stiff spot in it. It's almost like I made this chain, guys. You know, I make chains and they turn out like this because if you've all seen me live before, I don't think those are going to be accurate. I'll be right back. Let me check. You know, as badly as I want to fire up that 028 right now and run it with this handle on there, I'm going to do the proper thing and I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to either get a new bar or give that bar some attention. I think it's a 20-inch bar. And then we'll make a thing out of it. We'll make some cuts. This thing is poppy and just, I mean, it's just ready to rock. That thing is ready to go. Love it. I love the way that sounds. All right. The 038, let's see if there's anything else here real quick of significance to talk about on that one. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I want to show you. Now, believe it or not, this is relatively organized. Like, how I always wrap the piston up right there to make sure they don't get damaged. And then I always bag every single thing individually every single time. Even when I think the saw is going to be taken and be put back together the next day, I bag everything and label it, or at least put it in a bag of which makes sense. So it's been a good habit for me. This rear cover here, somebody like riveted on there this like boot which kind of seals that gap, and I thought it was kind of neat. I didn't know if that was a logger thing. Kind of seemed like somebody probably got a little frustrated with the way that those air cleaners are on the Stihl 038. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. It actually does butt up. This is an 028 obviously, but it does kind of butt up nicely and cover that gap. Works better on the 038. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm not going to pull that off, and I'm going to leave it on there because it's part of the history of the saw. It's like part of the story. So just thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, we got some new parts on this one. I have just recently decided that I'm not going to paint the case. I'm not going to do any porting on this chainsaw. I'm just going to leave it factory and clean it up and kind of just make it a runner. So I'm just going to get it all to where it needs to be running good and healthy. And that's kind of about it on that 038. That's kind of about all I'm going to do though. And I'll show you what it looks like with the wrap handle on there.
So now this is the 038 all put together, and if I'm honest, the 038 in the bucket is actually probably a little bit nicer saw, because this one was a hodgepodge of saws that came from the Forest Service Department, and so not one part is part of the original saw. Everything from the piston to the all of it's all factory, and there's all new parts in it, but it's just a hodgepodge of so many. And if you look here, it says K93. I'm not sure the K, what that means. The 90 and the 3. I'm assuming 90 means 1990. That would make sense. This guy right here, 87.2. It's marked on there. And this is definitely, at least I don't think that's the original cover. The cover would be that larger style, I believe, on here. And yeah, the handle is a factory steel handle. I had to check and see, but it is under there. It's a factory one. The tank is in good shape, and the guy got it from, built it. Very competent guy. I had no, like I said, when I buy chainsaws, I don't necessarily look at the saw. I read the person, and very competent guy. And anyway, yeah, so I got it from him, and I've loved it ever since. It's kind of my personal favorite runner, and I'll put it up against most any other CC 72cc. It'd be a dream to get a 372 and this guy together side by side. And my eyes have been open to Husqvarna lately, so I'm a new Husqvarna fan, guys. Huge Husky fan. Now, doesn't mean I like Stihl or Homelite less anymore. I'm just a huge fan of the Huskies. You guys want me to start this one up real quick? I fired this one up, and I like to just get this one going every once in a while. It makes me smile. Has a great idle. Reminds me of this 028. Has a thump to it that surprises me. You can hear the factory thump on this Magnum. I'll put this Magnum up against a lot of saws. At least a lot of the stuff I've ran. That's for sure. Choke is fully on. Didn't check the feel. I'm not gonna. I start mine with the chain brake off. Probably a bad idea. Maybe I'll revise that. This saw's got a lot more kick and compression than you'd expect as well. She just wants to go. You have not got your hands on an 038 Magnum, a genuine, healthy one. It's kind of one of those saws I put on the bucket list to try. It'll impress you for its size. If you look at it here, that's 72cc, and kind of throw it up here just size-wise to an MS290, and it's about the same size. I don't know, the 290 feels surprisingly heavy, to be honest, right now. I don't know why. But I mean, as far as like the 290 feels bulkier. It is not even near the same power or the same department. I mean, it's a different category in general. Don't get me wrong, it performs well. It's a good little chainsaw, but it's a step down from a Magnum, that's for sure. But nobody was claiming that it wasn't. So anyway. So we got this wrap handle here. We got a up close look at this and some customizations coming and a lot more happening lately. So, and Brian, if you're watching, I'm headed your way next. I'm really excited. We're planning a camping trip. We're going to go up into the Hood area, and I've heard that the snow is starting to melt on some of the back roads. I know there's patches, I guess, up by the mountains where you can't get through up in the mountains. So, yeah, but we're headed your way. We're gonna be that way shortly. I've got a buddy driving around that area right now and checking to see if the back roads are cleared out as far as the drifted snow and stuff like that. So, Brian, we're headed your way. I'm super excited, to be honest. And also want to say I got a video coming out tomorrow that's actually going to be running an old vintage chainsaw collection, some of the biggest, nicest, kind of a bucket list saws. So for the first time, there'll be chainsaws on my channel that aren't mine. But very great experience, and just want to tell everybody thank you. I appreciate it all. So it's been really nice having everybody here. I consider you guys all friends. We got a pile of chainsaws here. We have a lot more coming my direction. Stuff I've got in the shop I haven't even gotten out yet. We have things that I just haven't even touched because I just kind of get so excited, and so we'll hyper tune in on some of these projects. I want to do the like I said, the 2100, the 115cc Homelite, and we got a lot of stuff coming up. I got some other videos that are kind of in the works that are on the way down. And I'm really excited though about the video for tomorrow. It's been one that I'm pretty happy with, and it's turning out really well. So, you know, once again, any of the young guys out there, man, you just keep on working hard, be patient. I see a lot of you guys out there in the channels and in the comments and stuff, and I'm actually pretty happy with a lot of the youth I see, especially in this chainsaw department. I know people have been kind of, you know, dogging on some of the young guys these days, but I think with all the chaos they grew up in, I think a lot of these young guys are going to come out a little more grounded than some of us Gen X type or, you know, old guys are kind of could imagine. So I think some good grounded guys are coming along. I've been meeting some of them, so reach out to me if you want to say hi at Seymour Saws. JT, I might have sent you my number. I'm not sure. Give me a call. You can just go ahead and give me a ring if you want. Anytime. You can send me a message, a lot like that. I don't answer if I'm live. If that's you, JT, hi. Anyway, like I said, just thanks for watching, and I love you all. And until next time, hopefully there'll be much more. Man, my phone almost died there right in the middle of that live stream, guys. I was able to plug it in and hopefully save it. Miss you guys. Oh, can't wait till next time.